What up, world? It's your boy Moe Better from Moe Better Publishing Productions LLC, the media group I deserve a deal in connection with Collective Minds LLC, which is the revitalization of Black Wall Street. Uh, uh, what I wanted to this organization is based on cultural awareness, education, economic development, and empowerment of us as a people. That's what that's what Black Wall Street was all about, and this is the revitalization of that organization. Uh, So I am here to inform people of what's going on in life. We have this. I have this show out now. It's started out as y'all see me do it as I open up, and it's called In Real Life with Moe Better. But however, the demonstration behind In Real Life with Moe Better is now DV. It's a digital magazine, and the only thing that has stopped it is this COVID-19. So every situation in life to and from us as a people, from actually our story and what other people are talking about. I'm trying to figure out, how does this go? There it is right there. How y'all doing? I haven't been on it so long I kind of forgot. And then at the same time, what Lurleen La McNair, how you doing, Queen? What happens is, and Marquita Jones, how you doing, Queen? What happens is this social media will transform even while you're on it. So there's all kinds of new ways to do different things, and you can lose track. And since I haven't been on it about 2-3 weeks, that's what has happened. However, the demonstration behind that is this again, and still what I want to talk about is this COVID-19. I am a survivor of COVID-19, not corona. Coronavirus has been pneumonia. It's been out 60, 70, 100 years right now. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the man-made virus, the man-made bacteria, COVID-19. And what I want to talk about is how we as a people are actually I talk about this often in this book right here. It's called Brainwash by Tom Burrell. And what Tom Burrell did was able to sit down at the round table with them. He was able to sit down at the round table with them because they were like, okay, we're going to misuse this guy and we're going to misuse him to get into the hearts and the minds of his people, which are the black people. And they sat down and became so comfortable with him that they allowed him to sit at the table. And what he did was learn absolutely everything it was. And what he did was wrote a book about it. He quit their company because he was not selfish to continuously get the finances from them. He was selfless and took the chance of putting this information in a book that actually explains every test almost, you know what I'm saying, that they have done to and on us to get us in the thought processes that we are in right now, coming through the processes of the Willie Lynch process. And he put it in the book and he explains everything it is that they did in the beginning of every chapter from chapter 1 to 10. And then at the end of each chapter, what he does is explains how to reverse what was actually done. It's one of the most phenomenal books that I've ever read in my life and something that is so needed for us as a people right now today. And I substantiate that to say, your question. Why is there really like the Ku Klux Klan for real are here today because they want to carry the name. They want to wear the t-shirts. They want to show, you know what I'm saying, that I am somebody. That other than that, they don't have to. They don't have to kill us because we kill ourselves. No matter what it is that they do, I don't care if it is cocaine, heroin, you know what I'm saying, marijuana, whatever the situation may be. Guess what happened? It is not a pandemic until it supersedes our limits and goes into their neighborhoods and communities. Slack Jones, how you doing, Queen? Dave Tufts, how you doing, King? And I want people to understand this. Quinonos, Deneen, how you doing, Queen? Tamika, Shelburne, hey, how you doing, Queen? And I want us to understand that, go back. And if you look at this, go from a biblical perspective. go from the Quranic perspective. You want to get the holy tablets. You want to get, see, I studied all the books. And if you ever pay attention, Nick Norma, how you doing, Queen? I never continuously talk about my way of life because I have a way of life that I believe in. But I don't talk about that. What I say is get your book and let's understand where we come from and what's really going on right now from a spiritual perspective. Being that we as a black people are a chosen people by the Most High God. We're the first person here. We're the first people on the planet Earth. Well, please go look up and study what's going on. Find out where David came from, where Solomon came from, where Abraham, Isaac, Jacob came from. Find out who Elijah was, what his nationality was, his culture, Elijah, Elisha, Zephaniah. But find out who they are. And again, we are a chosen people. And what the Most High says is that my people are continuously destroyed due to a lack of knowledge. And I want you to understand this, that when you start studying Hebrew, again, which is why I'm talking about get the book. Jason Shelby, how you doing, King? When I get the books, I want you to understand. James Moore, how you doing, King? When you start getting this, what you'll realize is that certain words, a word in itself can actually mean a whole phrase. So when it's talking about that our people die from a lack of knowledge, when you go and you study it and you put it in its proper perspective, what it means is that we do not die from a lack of knowledge. What we die is lack of application of the knowledge that we get. So when the Most High said, let us make man in our image, he was talking about us. He was talking about these black people. He was talking about a chosen people. And I want you to understand this, where it says that we wrestle what? Not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. And when you think about this, I want you to go back to the terminologies to where this began. And again, it originated with, guess what? I don't care what holy book you go to. Everything originated from what? The devil, who was an angel, a cherub, a mighty angel saying, I believe that I can be God. I can believe that I can create and manufacture something more than God. I don't want to serve those people. A lot of people don't understand. Minister in the original language actually means servant. So this is what angels are. This is what the mighty cherub, before he became a slanderer, devil, you know what I'm saying, and resistor, Satan. You see, this is what he had to do. And he didn't want to do that because he looked at his sales goods and what he was made of and said, man, I don't want to serve them people. That's a people. Look, they made of dust. Look at me, what I'm made from. So he divided. The first thing he attacked was a family. So guess what he has done? He has found a way down here for the people. Wanda Queen, how you doing? What he has found a way is he's found a species of people to actually roll along with whatever it is that he desires to do. So humanity right now, what we're dealing with is actually a process of a tool. The people, the white supremacists, and even us as a people, everything that we had was actually destroyed by us through the manipulation of white supremacy. So he's found the people to manipulate and destroy, guess what? The foundation of everything that exists, which is us as a people. Now, think about it. Colleges, what you consider to be universities today, they started in Africa. Zoroastrianism, which is astrology that you follow today, guess what? Black people. Do you understand that we had clothes on first? We were civilized, that we taught the rest of the world how to use soap, that we actually go study where Abraham came from. He actually had running water in their homes back then. You see what I'm saying? So the demonstration behind this is through the brainwashing, through the processes of the what? Wrestling against the principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. We are being divided as a family because guess what? Structure starts where? In the house. It starts with us. So a people has been found that Satan, Iblis, you know what I'm saying? The devil has found a species of people that's willing to go along with whatever it is he says to destroy and continues to destroy the people that are made like you and I in the image of the Most High God. This is our fight. This is our fight, even in the process of COVID-19. Let me explain something to you. Again, you have a tool of a people that are being misused by the devil, right? COVID-19 has a patent. Do you understand what I'm saying? COVID-19 has a patent on it, which means that it was manufactured. It had an inventor. But it is still meant to do what? Destroy the black family. Nothing becomes a pandemic. Nothing becomes a situation seriously needed to be dealt with until it supersedes where they set out to destroy first. And then it supersedes the borders and gets to their realm. And then it becomes a problem. But again, through the processes of knowledge, I want you to understand this. We do not have a lack of knowledge. Guess what the Most High does? Y'all know who Elijah is? Elisha? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob? Y'all know who they are? Malachi? Zephaniah? Do y'all know who these people? These are prophets. King David, King Solomon. You know what I'm saying? You want to go back? Later times, you want to talk about Matthew, Mark, Luke, Peter, Paul, Timothy. He said, guess what? At a period of time, he said, at a period of time, I spoke through prophets. He said, but the last period of time, I spoke through my son who actually left a word, which is the basic instructions before leaving earth, which is the Bible, right? So let me explain something. He performs information and sends information to his people, his chosen people, before there's ever a complete destruction. So again, when you looking at the terminologies where he says that my people are destroyed through a lack of knowledge, and you will understand that, guess what? We don't have a lack of knowledge, especially now when we have Google in today's time. What we do is refuse to apply what he is giving us, just like he did back then. Like, I want some of you dummies. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how you feel about me calling you a dummy right now. I want some of you dummies to think about this demonstration right here. Guess what? Guess who created quarantining? God created quarantining for his chosen people. Again, he's giving you knowledge, information to protect yourself from something that will destroy you. He said, if there's anyone among you who has something on you that you do not know what it is, and you cannot take it to the older men and find out what it is. He says, separate yourself, quarantine yourself until I tell you what it is. When you go through the lands of the Moabites, when you go through the lands of the Canaanites, when you go through the land of, guess what he said? He said, stay away from them. Quarantine yourself from them. Don't go through their city. He said, go around it. I don't care. It takes 2 days to go through it, but 3 months to go around it because I do not want you to be invested in what is in this situation, in this city, in this town that these people have. I don't want you to, that's quarantining. So people say, oh man, God got me. You one of the dumbest people on the planet when you try to believe that God got you. He gave you the information to protect yourself, and then you're going to still go experience it and get it and say, well, I was supposed to get it anyway. He gave you every way out. He's giving you information. He's giving you knowledge. COVID-19 has a patent on it. 5G has a patent on it. They both carry the statistics and the symptoms of COVID-19, something greater than coronavirus, right? So why would you go out and kick it? Guess what? Y'all always see me. I quarantine. I talk to somebody with a mask on, then I take my mask off. What's up? Take a picture, put my mask back on. I quarantine with my hand. I wash my hands. I sanitize, right? I sanitize, and I even sanitize. This is how I sanitize. I sanitize my hands, and while my hands are still wet, I sanitize the bottle because I had to pick it up, right? This is how I purchase things from stores and everything. But guess what? I caught 5 of us caught COVID-19 from somebody who don't have symptoms. So again, guess what? You have knowledge. You have information that substantiates that somebody does not have to cough. They don't have to have a dry cough. They don't have to sneeze. They don't have to do anything, and they can pass you COVID-19, which is a disease that will destroy your body. So see, the Most High is giving you information, but the thing is, guess what? We want to go out and show people that we got the red bottoms, you know, that we got the new Timberlands, then we got the new Michael Jordans. You know what I mean? That we got the new Michael Kors purse. Girl, look at this. Oh, my God, look. And when you want to go out and buy bottles and you want to do this and you want to acknowledge to other people who you are, and then you don't even know that you've contracted the disease that's getting ready to come home and kill your whole family. I want to talk to you about what's going on with us, again, us being targeted. I do not believe that I am the only one who experienced what I experienced in the hospital, when I'm getting ready to tell you some other things about COVID-19. When I went to the hospital, 9 times out of 10, I had a Caucasian doctor, right? Jew boy, for real. I'm not saying that this is with everyone, but I do want you to understand that the white supremacist process is against all of us. You know what I'm saying? By the majority of them. So when I was in the hospital and I'm in here, the guy came in and he thought that I was going to be as urban as possible and began to talk. Yeah, okay, man, what's up with you, man? Yeah, you want to do this? You want to, hey, look, don't you want to go home, man? Why don't you let's just get ready to get you up out of here, man. Let's go ahead and get you up out of here and, you know, put his foot up on a thing like this right here. Put his foot up on him. Yeah, see, man, so he talking to me like this, right? Yeah, you just want to get out of here, man. We want to go ahead and get you out of here. Don't you want to just go home? And like I'm the nigga that want to be in the club to show that I got some new Timberlands or the new Jordans. I wasn't him. I'm not him. You know what I'm saying? And what I began to do was pay attention to the information that was being presented to me from COVID-19. I also began to pay attention to the white supremacist doctors, you see what I'm saying, that are trying to control what's happening to you. And I asked him a question. I said, who are you? Yeah, I didn't even know he was my doctor. Somebody just came in and started talking to me. Don't you want to go home, man? I guess what I said, man, do you know what I want to know? I want to know what's wrong with me. I want to know what's going on with these symptoms that I am having. Is it this debilitating disease that I'm hearing about? That's what I want to know. Well, matter of fact, can I see somebody else? And I had to make a complaint with him, make an uproar, create other information, and talk to other doctors to finally find out and get what's going on with me. That's what happened. That's how I got my chest x-rayed. That's how I got my CAT scan. That's how I got my temperature. He didn't do nothing as a doctor. His whole aim is to get you out of there. And I said, this is what I'm talking about right now. Part of the post today is, guess what? When your brother, your sister walk up on you with a jewelry they made or some clothes they got, I don't care if it's hot. Guess what you gonna do? Oh, man, what is this? How long you had this? How did you make this? How long did it take to make it? Oh, that's hot. You're only supposed to get a third for it, but at the same time, guess what? Even cheaper than that, and you want to give all these different stories that's going on to your brother that's out here hustling, that's trying to feed their children from whatever perspective of it. I'm talking about the real hustler. I'm not talking about just the thief. I'm talking about the real hustler. We want to question him. When one of our own people brings us information, man, how do you know that, man? Whatever, man, whatever. Okay, yeah, okay, boo-boo. This is how we do them. But then when you will get in this doctor's office that's really trying to kill you, you won't ask them nothing. You need to ask questions about what's going on with your life. Because guess what this thing entails? They created a disease to exterminate us through the processes of genocide. And it is working. And if you do not know what's going on, guess what? They will send you out of there to die. Like one of the greatest things that you don't know and understand is this, right? The body is not made to wear a mask. I'm not telling anyone not to wear a mask. I'm telling you when not to wear a mask. You hear me? When not to. The body naturally breathes. Inhale, exhales, right? Guess what happens when you're inhaling and exhaling? The way that the Most High, when he said, I'm going to make us in our image, King David said, he said, when I look at your stars and I look at your heavens and the universe and the things you have made, I look at myself and say, in a fear-inspiring way, I am wonderfully made. This is each one of us, how we have to look at ourselves. We have to value ourselves in the way that David did. You hear me? So the way that the Most High made us, our body has an immune system, which means there's a natural process in the way that we deal with things that our body structures. You breathe out, you exhale, you inhale, and what happens is your body begins to take in whatever it is that's out there, and it begins to form an immunity and antibodies to fight what's going on in the system. Guess what happened though when you got COVID-19 and you have a mask on? This is one of the most powerful experiences that I've ever felt, and I just knew at this time if it wasn't for the Most High I was going to die. I had on a mask. I got symptoms of COVID-19. I'm not even diagnosed yet, but I'm breathing out. But I got COVID-19 and symptoms of sickness that cannot go beyond the mask. So guess what they do? They go back into my system. My system tried to regurgitate it. My system fought it and tried to fight it and say, okay, get rid of that. But the mask kept it there and pushed it back inside myself. And I almost died. You actually feel your body telling you, I'm getting ready to expire. You actually feel it. Do you hear me? So one of the things that you do is when you are in a house and you're not around people, don't wear your mask. Let your body form its natural processes of exhaling and inhaling and dealing with the system of the ecosystem of your body as it's supposed to, as your body creates immune systems and antibodies to fight what's in the air. That's what you do. I want you to also get this sun, natural vitamin D. I want you to understand again, as we fight the principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places that is trying to destroy us, that guess what? Everything that the white supremacists and the doctors tell you to do you understand it is actually against everything that is natural? That a lot of people are actually in the hospital dying with the mask on because they cannot get rid of the intoxicants that is in the body that the body is trying to expel. And they're forcing it back into the body, and it breaks the immune system down and kills you. Please pay attention when I'm talking to you. Let me, I talked about some of the things that I've been through, some of the wars I've been kidnapped before, tortured. I've had all kinds. I fought Aryan Brotherhoods and Ku Klux Klan in the penitentiary, Lucasville riots, Mansfield riots, me, Tokyo, LC, you know what I'm saying? Anthony Jackson, Shotgun, you know what I'm saying? Malik McAlpine. We went through all kinds of situations, but there's nothing like your body fighting itself. And I want you to understand that when you go to the hospital, they not going to care about what's going on with you. And I want you, first of all, I want you to do this. The information that you are getting, do you understand that this sickness has actually mutated? First of all, again, it's made and manufactured to kill 1 billion of us, to get rid of 1 billion of us. And the pandemic, the part became a pandemic when it actually superseded our borders and got into their environments and began to kill and annihilate them more so than it does us. One of the reasons why, because guess what? God chose the people. He chose us. He chose us to be his people. And just like then, the majority won't pay attention, but some will. And those some will be the ones who will be saved. Those who actually pay attention to the information that is being presented. Those who actually really quarantine, that are not selfish and that are selfless, and don't want to continuously go to the club to show everybody what they look like, to come home and exterminate their whole families. We're a chosen people. So this is another reason why the information is being put out here. King Ken, how you doing, King? So this is why this information is being put out here. But the thing is, again, we are not being destroyed because we lack knowledge. We are being destroyed because we refuse to apply what it is that is happening to us. Now, again, when we're going through this doctor processes, you need to ask questions. Now, y'all seen me out, right? But my thing is, I was told that my quarantine was over on the 16th the 16th, which is today. And I still don't go out because, again, I'm selfless, not selfish. So I went out and I gave my dude Tokyo, you know what I'm saying? We did the detoxification, you know what I'm saying? That builds the energy, that raises the alkaline level in the body, that which boosts the immune system. I seen that, boom, drunk one of those with him, and I came to the house, right? But remember how the doctor didn't want to even diagnose me? Now, my symptoms were so bad to the degrees to where they had a medical team come to my house every other day. They came one day, which was Saturday, and they were supposed to come back Tuesday, and I never heard from them. They gave me, my paper is upstairs. They gave me the information. They gave me a case manager. They told me who was supposed to help me and define what's going on with me to make sure that the oxygen and everything in my blood was being properly functioned. And I never saw anybody. And all the information that they gave me was wrong. So all the information that I used to get in contact with people today to find out that, guess what? My quarantine would not be up today. My quarantine is actually up on the 20th because I continuously made complaints. They said that somebody was my case manager on the COVID-19 aspect that would come to the house and check on me. And when I called in today for the last 3 days, I'm trying to find out, when is my quarantine over? I'm trying to find out how long am I contagious? When does the contagion stop? When can I do anything? I actually knew nothing, but I'm calling. See, like that guy that you questioned about them shoes that he got and you want to know where they came from. The girl that got the purses and the clothes and you want to find out where they came from. See, I started talking to my doctors like you talk to your own people. And as I began to talk to them, I began to find out that all my information was incorrect. The guy that they had me as my case manager, when I finally got in contact with him on the third day, guess what? His symptoms sound worse than mine. And he told me, man, my name is Blase such and such. This is the wrong telephone number. I'm not coming to see you. And I don't even live in Cleveland. This is the information that the hospital sent me. So imagine if I do not ask questions. Imagine if you do not ask questions. Imagine if you sit down like they want you to. I like in collective minds, I always talk about this when I speak. When we are brainwashed and we have this concept to where you're a doctor, you have a certificate, you have degrees, you have diplomas, you have this. So you are a professional. So I should automatically listen to everything it is that you say. And what I forget is that, guess what? You are part of the white supremacists that is actually made to destroy us as a people. So you will mislead me and misdirect me, sometimes not knowing, but in most cases, intentionally. Days, place, man. Thanks, big brother, man. I'm taking them greens. You taking your greens? Told you, like, when I had these symptoms, man, on everything I love, I'm not, when I talk about the super greens and the super reds that I deal with it works. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to save you. When I would go through my symptoms and I didn't know what was really going on with me, and I was in Miami and I seen my people, I said, man, that goes some of my stuff. Give me. And I took one. My body began to immediately detoxify all the negativity that was in it. And I'm telling you this, again, we fighting against not flesh and blood, but against principality, spiritual wickedness in high places. Let me explain something to you about this disease. Talk to my dude, Tote. Especially if you're conscious. If you're conscious and you can understand what's going on, let me explain something to you. The way that the Most High made us, the human brain knows your age, it knows your bone structure, it knows your blood type, it knows how much weight you're supposed to have on you and everything. You do not have to tell your body to run blood through the veins. You do not have to tell your body, you know what I'm saying, to utilize the restroom. You do not have to tell your body to separate vitamin A, B, C, D, E, F, G, zinc. You don't have to tell it that. You don't have to tell it any of those things, right? Let me explain something to you about COVID-19. When you have COVID-19, all the things that make your body function naturally will begin to fight itself. Like all the stuff that I just named that you don't really have to think about. Your body, the will in you, will begin to force you to tell your body to act naturally, to function properly, because you can actually feel COVID-19 trying to shut down everything that is natural in you. You will feel COVID-19 trying to make you stop breathing. You will feel COVID-19 take the oxygen out of your blood. Just 2 days ago, I just began to be able to sleep. And I told y'all I have a friend, you know what I'm saying, a couple of people that's doctors, you know what I'm saying, scientists, actually, that even work for the government, that told me that my body was not I hadn't slept. What's the day, the 16th? So the 14th is the first day I began to sleep since the 29th of June. Since the 29th of June, I didn't sleep until the 14th of July. Why is that? Because your body is fighting. And your body will tell you, don't go to sleep. You don't know it. I didn't know it. I had to find out later on what was actually going on. But my body was telling me not to go to sleep. Because if you do, you're going to go into a coma. And you may possibly die, because in this coma, your immune system will refuse to fight itself, because it's not eating. It's not breathing. It's not fighting. It is not doing the natural process in which the Most High gave it to exhale, to inhale, and regurgitate the negativity to build your immune system to create antibodies. I didn't know that. But you will actually know you will know the fight is in your body. Is that phenomenal? You will actually feel your body shutting down, and by the grace of the Most High and the will that He has in you, you will tell yourself, live, fight to live, and you will know that something is inside of you trying to make you die. This is what COVID-19 is. This is why when you go to these hospitals, you need to ask these doctors what's going on. If you are having symptoms, I don't want you to flip and trip and create all types of unnecessary craziness. But if you are having symptoms, I want you to go get checked out. Can you imagine all the natural processes in your life? Listen, I studied many arts. People know how I get down, right? You lose your equilibrium. I'm talking about when you are walking, you have to acknowledge that your foot is actually on the ground, because you will continuously try to take that step again. And or when you're moving, your foot will go to the left or go to the right. So you lose your equilibrium. You're not dizzy. I didn't get dizzy. And the symptoms are actually different, and they vary from people to people. So you really have to pay attention to what's going on. Your foot will go to the right, to the left. When you stand up, you have to acknowledge that you are actually getting up out your bed if you can. Because if not, you will try to keep standing, and or you will move and you will feel yourself. It's not a dizziness in the brain. It's just your equilibrium. Everything that is natural about you will refuse to take place. We as black people, guess what? We love the swag. Women love the heel toe to throw that booty. Brothers love it's me. Guess what? We walk with that Obama. You know what I mean? You gonna lose it. You gonna lose your vision. Listen, you lose your taste. You lose your sense of smell. You lose your sense of vision. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I sat in the bed, man, and I'm a thinker. So I'm not going to say that anything would actually be any different with me than it would be with some of you, because many of you are thinkers also. But when you sit in this bed, and for like 2 hours one time, I prayed. 2 hours. And I said, God, please do me a favor. Give me order. Give me peace. I actually felt my body fighting to live while the virus was fighting to kill me. And you can feel it. I prayed for peace. I prayed for my mind to be sound. I prayed for a peace of mind to just allow my brain to relax and stop dealing with the fight. I said, you take this. I can't. This bigger than me. This way bigger than me. You need to do this. And for 2 hours, man, I prayed, and the Most High allowed my brain to stop functioning on the fight and just survive. Just survive. Here's peace. Lay down and survive. But even then, I could not sleep. I just began. Again, my symptoms started on the 29th of June. I just began to sleep on the 14th of July. Now, I want you to think about this. So if you having any form of symptoms, what I want you to do is I want you to get you some cucumber. You don't have to purchase anything from me. I have something that detoxifies and takes all the negativity out of the body, and it builds your immune system, raises your alkaline level. You don't have to get anything from me. Go get something to build your immune system in your body. Go get something to build the immune system in your body. Whatever you is, eat you some Campbell's chicken noodles and soup, and drink you some alkaline water. Drink regular water on top of the alkaline water, but drink you some alkaline water. You need everything possible to build the immune system in the body. And I believe that, if the Most High didn't grace me with the type of body that I have, and I work out all the time and I'm always doing something, yet and still, if I was not taking super greens and super reds from the It Works program that y'all always saw me taking over the years, I believe that if I would not did this and it was not in me to fight to live, I would be dead. Without a doubt in my mind. And I'm still having symptoms now. Again, and I want you to understand that through this process of this white supremacist, please understand that guess what? They don't care, man, about you. You're nothing to them. Guess what? They're going to get between 10 and 20,000 from the experimentation on you coming through for COVID-19. So they don't care if you live or die. You have to. Please begin to pay attention to the information that you are seeing. COVID-19 is this. They're shutting down Miami again. They're shutting down parts of Atlanta again. They're shutting down parts of Chicago again. They're shutting down parts of Cleveland again. Ask yourself why. Again, this is not what they want to do, but this is what the Most High is forcing the information to be presented to say, guess what? People quarantine. My chosen people, protect yourself. Because they're trying to kill you. I'm trying to give you the information needed to protect yourself. Become selfless. Stop caring about how other people view you. You wanted somebody to see you in a new Cayenne and a new Lincoln, in the club buying drinks and popping bottles and twerking with the red bottoms on, the new Michael Jordans and the new Timberlands. Man, forget that. Because you're going to go out there and that same person buying the bottles that don't have no symptoms is going to be the one that passes off to 5 or 6 people that's going to come home and guess what? Kill 5 or 10 families. Dave Place. Yeah, thank you. Still don't know the app. I can't take up to a year to overcome this. We still don't listen. No, we don't know, Dave. You know what I'm saying? We guess what we know? We know they trying to kill us. We know that Bill Gates, among a bunch of other people, said that they want 1 billion people dead, predominantly starting with black people, blacks, Latins, and even in Africa. All across the globe, this is who they want dead. So the demonstration behind this is, look how it is spreading. Again, the information is we're not dying due to lack of information. We're dying to the lack of application of the information that we are getting. Big bruh, I love you, man. You can't call me for nothing. No issues, nowhere. You know what I mean? Protect yourself, man. Build your immune system. You hear me? Nubia Sanders is watching. CC Alexandra says, replying Dave's, I have read this. Dave's Place. CC Alexandra, yes, they still don't know side effects. I am a COVID survivor since March 23rd. That's another thing I want to talk about, Dave. Please, thank you for coming that up. The body, our body, each one of our, man, we got the coldest bodies on the planet. Nothing can sustain what we have gone through. Yet at the same time, I don't want you to say, well, I can handle COVID. Man, we done beat the dogs, water hoses, hangings, lynchings, everything. So COVID-19 ain't nothing. Don't be a dummy. Again, God got me. God created quarantining. He created information so you can protect yourself. You see what I'm saying? I substantiate that to say exactly what Dave and CC Alexandria is saying. Each one of our bodies acts differently. Each one of us may have completely different symptoms than somebody else. And it does not mean you do not have COVID. It does not mean that you do have COVID. What it means is you need to continuously protect yourself because the symptoms are different. Everybody don't lose their equilibrium. Guess what? They talk about the dry cough. I never had a dry cough ever. When I coughed, something was in my throat, needed to get out of my throat, or something was coming out of my chest and needed to come out of my chest. But guess what else was somebody? Like this right here. That smooth touch right there across the head. That hurt my brain. And people said they didn't have that. When I got a cough and my cough became like aggressive to the degrees to where it shook my core, that's in the end of my symptoms. Not in the beginning. The muscle hurting and different things of that nature went in 3 days. Yours might last forever. I don't have my taste and my smell back yet. Some people's come back in 2 and 3 days. So please understand that the symptoms are completely different as each individual, your blood type, who you come from. Let me explain something else. What is it? What is the deep demonstration behind how it affects us? Guess what? How much white do you have in your blood? See, because it blow through them. And it wasn't blowing through us. Now, guess what happens? Again, right now with CC Alexandria and Dave Play Speaks, the virus has mutated. They created this to destroy us. And because it was not working on us, guess what happened? I don't know if they created the mutation or it became smart and mutated on its own, but to the degrees to where, guess what? It is now killing more of us than it is them. You know? So I want us to understand what's going on. Miguel, DJ Long Johnson says, yes, this is mass genocide. In order to run the world correctly, it needs to be under 500 million people. This is their thought process. The world's overpopulated according to them. It's not overpopulated to us. Let me explain something to you when you start doing your science on this. Do you understand that Ohio, you hear me? Ohio alone, Ohio in the United States of America actually manufactures enough food to feed the world? So this has nothing to do with overpopulation. It has nothing to do with this. Has everything to do with the Most High said. He said, run from every form of greed. So this whole demonstration is based on greed. How can we be overpopulated when do you understand in this desert? They killed Muammar Gaddafi. Why? Because he brought water from the ocean to the center of the desert, man. Plants. Absolutely everything. So see, there's a way for it to be done, but then you have this thought process of the devil, Satan, Iblis, whatever it is that you want to call him. You know what I'm saying? To where, guess what he said? I want to rule. I have a better process to rule human beings than God did. And y'all just need to follow me. Now, it's going to cost y'all lives, but let me show you something. And guess what? It's not going to never happen. You can't get nothing better than the way that the Most High created it. Every way, in every shape and or form, to where man substantiates, again, being made in the image of the Most High God, substantiates. So Muammar Gaddafi said, listen, man. He said, listen, I'm bringing water from the oceans, drinking water to the center of the desert. Hospitals is free. Schooling is free. We don't need none of the United States money. We're going to structure our own finances. And every time a man or woman gets married, I'm giving y'all $50,000 to start your family off. Every time oil, gold, diamonds, and anything is manufactured from Libya, guess what? Every citizen gets a piece of it. Guess what the United States ran by, guess what? The principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places. Guess what happened? Not the flesh and the blood. Kill him, man. He's showing what God said needs to be done. Kill him. And that's what happened. So see, we're actually not overpopulated. The white supremacist process, manipulated, demonically inspired by the principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places, is actually running the world on greed. Do you understand what happened, man? If how many people will come to the United States of America, man, if we utilized listen to what I'm getting ready to say. If we utilize the cures to AIDS, if we utilize the cures to cancer, do you understand that if we utilize the cures of tuberculosis, do you understand that these are all cures? They're patent, which means that somebody have invented them. They are real. They really work, but they don't want to. They would rather deal with treatment because treatment brings in continuous funds. So this is what this whole process is about, man. Tanya Campbell, Gregory Amir Calvin says there's enough room in the state of Texas for the whole population to live in. The whole population to live in, man. But the thing is, again, we as a people do not die based on a lack of knowledge. We as a people continuously die because we refuse to apply the knowledge that the Most High gives us. So look, as I get ready to end this, I'm sure that y'all heard what I said. I'm pretty sure that you understand that COVID-19 is a process of genocide against a black people. When I say black people, I mean black and Latin. You know what I'm saying? Native American, the Indians. You just any non-white. Do I hate all white people, man? No, I hate anybody that performs any form of negativity, including my own people. I just acknowledge what is. I acknowledge where it's coming from, and I acknowledge what the process is. So I'm asking you as a people, as an individual, stop dying due to the lack of knowledge and the application of it. Begin to utilize the information that the Most High gives you. This organization, Collective Minds LLC, is based on cultural awareness, education, economic development, and empowerment of us as a people. Please utilize an organization that is built on exactly what it is that you say you live for. Listen, I'm getting ready to get out of here. Question your doctors. Question. Forget I'm a professional. I have degrees. I have diplomas. Do you know how many friends that I have are doctors that I start talking about different things to, and they say, oh my God, Maurice, I never knew that. Do you know how many doctors never knew that sharks cannot catch cancer? Do you know how many doctors do not know? Because they're trained to teach you a lie, to destroy your family. So many of them don't even know. Some do, but many don't. They don't know that when you raise the alkaline level in the body, guess what? It actually prevents illness from getting in it. Because guess what they want to do? They want you sick. So guess what you can do? You can be in Walmart, Rite Aid, CVS, trying to find some type of medication that they manufactured and they get paid from every time they give you a prescription so that they can get paid. They care nothing about your life for real. You have to care about your life. You have to value you. You have to look at you like David looked at himself and what the Most High said. I'm going to make you in the image of let's make them in the image of us. David said, I looked at your heavens and I looked at your stars. And I looked at your universe. And I asked, what is mortal man that you keep them in mind in a fear-inspiring way? Individually, each one of us are wonderfully made. Gregory Amir Calvin, there's they are practicing medicine. Yes, they are, Miguel, they're practicing medicine. But the whole thing is they're practicing medicine at your expense, as long as you allow them to. Look, I'm getting ready to get out of here. I love y'all. Agape in real life.